Tonight on Connections Live, we'll take a step back in time to a restaurant in Danville, Indiana. We'll hear about a man's passion for flying and rigging in the theater. And we'll revisit one of our favorite stories from the season. Connections Live starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Connections Live, where we showcase ordinary people with extraordinary stories. I'm Sam Meyer.
And I'm Esther Sarah Bauer. Tonight we'll tell the stories of a Danville diner, a man's passion for flying, and a memorabilia collector. So let's get started with our first story.
The Mayberry Cafe is a family-friendly restaurant in Danville, Indiana. Since 1989, owners Brad and Christine Bourne have welcomed diners to take a step back in time for home-cooked food.
Just like Aunt Bee put on the table for Andy and Opie Taylor on the Andy Griffith Show. Let's grab a plate and find out what's cooking.
Mayberry Cafe is a small family-run restaurant owned by my husband Brad and I. My husband Brad, when we got married, always had boxes of recipes and loved to cook, and he'd been a sous chef. He said, that's what I really want to do, and one day he came home and he said, I found this restaurant out in Danville. It's a breakfast and lunch place. And so we bought it. It was called Main Street Cafe Deli. It was just breakfast and lunch. We ran it for 2 years, and people said, you know, you need a new name and you need to let people know it's new owners. Brad said, well, I always wanted to live in Mayberry. How about Mayberry Cafe? And we thought about it for about a week, and then we closed down and reopened as Mayberry Cafe. And it'll be 25 years, October 13th.
Opie, you haven't even touched your fried chicken, and I made it special for you.
Ain't hungry.
And to think I was glad when you learned to talk.
Well, we have a very big menu. A lot of it is to give people variety because they eat here frequently. You know, we have locals that eat here a couple times a week. It's lunch and dinner. That's our hand-breaded tenderloins. We're on the Indiana Tenderloin Trail. Our fried chicken, we pretty well have, it's a signature item. We have a 2- and 3-piece dinner, and that's, we call it Aunt Bee's fried chicken. And started out as a Sunday special and just taken over. We have our barbecue beef brisket. Brad slow roast it for 24 hours, and people really like that. And all of our soups are homemade. We have a big salad bar, and he makes all the side salads fresh. Our mashed potatoes are, you know, fresh and peeled. Meatloaf's made from scratch. So there's still a lot of just homemade from scratch meals, which I think people enjoy. We have a Mayberry Cafe website and a Facebook page. But if they're looking for the cafe, just type in Mayberry Cafe and you'll find a lot about us. And if you're in Indiana, we're just 14 miles straight west off 465, right across from the courthouse. And you can't miss us because the squad car's parked out front.
What a nice place to have a home-cooked meal, and I really like the Andy Griffith theme.
Definitely. In a sea full of diners, this one is one of a kind. You can visit their diner's website at mayberrycafe.com.
Well, don't go away. We'll be flying into our next story right after the break.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back to Connections Live. In our next story, we will soar through the rafters of Muncie Civic Theater.
Since graduating from IU, Troy Trinkle makes theater come alive with his own rigging, directing, and teaching.
Let's take off and see what Troy has in store for us.
Hi, I'm Troy Trinkle, proprietor of Flying by Troy. There are a few flying effects companies, ZFX, Hall Associates Flying Effects, Flying by Foy, D2 Flying. I'm local. I do it because I like it. I try to stay in this area. Performer flying effects means a lot of different things. Now it can mean aerial artists climbing silks or circus kind of stuff. But for the traditional theater goer, they think of it as Peter Pan flying or Mary Poppins flying. There's a call for performers to fly in the theater, and it's a very specialized rigging. There's theater rigging and there's arena rigging, but performer flying is very specialized because of we're flying humans. We can't drop them and then take them into the scene shop and repair them and then bring them back for the next night. No, the safety and standards are so high because there's no mistakes. You can't make mistakes. It's theater, so it's always different each time. So part of what I do is I train them to understand what's going to happen. It's really hard for them as performers to get, regardless of whether they're flying, dancing, or whatever you're doing, you never get the same performance, you never get the same presentation 2 times in a row. I'm trying to teach them how to dance. Novice operators are sometimes, I think of them as people who can't dance, and I'm trying to teach them some basic steps, and if they practice those basic steps, they can look good if they put in the time rehearsing. It usually takes about a day to install. And rehearsal for the flying, it's the standard, you know, you need to put in an hour for every minute. Usually you start with the questions, what's the story? What's the character supposed to? The character's supposed to fly, but how is the character supposed to fly? Peter Pan zips around the room, but Mary Poppins is very stoic and she glides, and it's very nice and slow. So there's different kinds of systems to create the effect that you want. And with every system, there's limitations. So you start with the story, and you ask what you want to see and what the flying is supposed to do as far as moving the story along. And then I try to come up with a system that answers those questions. There's the traditional shows that I have a lot of fun with because I've done them so much. I know the script so well. I don't know how many times I've done Peter Pan, and Mary Poppins is getting to be in the dozens of times. I like going in and doing those shows because now I'm to the point where I'm trying to invent new stuff. However, I really get a kick out of working on new pieces. I just did a show at Ball State, and it was a totally brand new piece, and we got to invent everything, so we were starting from a blank slate, so that was lots of fun. I worked for Hall Associates Flying Effects for several years as a flying director, and I was the technical director for Indianapolis Civic Theater for 10 years. And during that time, I was called to fly performers for the theater, and that's how I met people at Hall Associates. And over the years, I started buying my own gear and helping local schools and other theaters, and after a while, I decided might as well just do what I like, and I left Indianapolis Civic Theater, and now I'm doing this full time.
What a cool and unique skill set to have. I'll have to sign up for his class.
I think I'm going to have to pass on that one, but I'm looking forward to his next show.
To find out more about Troy and his rigging and flying classes, you can visit his website at flyingbytroy.com.
We've covered a lot of extraordinary stories this season, 18 to be exact.
Out of all the stories, we just had to share this one a second time. Our favorite story this year was sharing Kevin Silva's extensive Batman memorabilia collection with you.
He's been collecting since he was just a kid, and Kevin is still a kid at heart. Let's head on over to the Bat Cave.
I've been gathering up Batman since I was about 5 years old. The television show aired January 12, 1966, and I turned 5 January 6, 1966, so fresh little 5-year-old. And my dad, one of his biggest clients was RCA, and through his connections with RCA, he got us for Christmas in 1965 a 19-inch color television. So my first experience with Batman was on a 19-inch color TV, which was quite overwhelming. And it's not that you start to collect things at 5. Your mom throws your stuff away or she keeps it. And my mom put a couple things away for me that I packed around in a box for quite some time. And, you know, as I grow older, comics, of course, I always bought. And there wasn't a whole lot of merchandising. Some stuff for the TV show. Kind of fell out of it, in my teenage years somewhat. And then the 1989 Michael Keaton movie came out, and it opened up the floodgates for merchandising and kind of re-sparked my interest in it. And from 1989 to date, I've been gathering this stuff up pretty feverishly. I watch a lot of eBay auctions. You know, I'll go to flea markets. The logo I see in my sleep, I can walk into a store and I'll spot that Batman logo from the door. What I try to do now is I'm a little more refined in my collecting. If I have 3 items and I know there's 4 available, I look for the 4th item to complete the set. I like packaging. It's all licensed, and I like the look of certain items. I'm so condensed, and I only have so much space to put it. Sometimes I look at sizes of, this will fill a space. The first item that probably I've got my lunchbox from being 5 years old. I still have it, and I own a couple placemats from '66. A felt cap that I'm lucky enough to have pictures of me at 5 wearing the felt cap, but I still have it. Again, thanks to my mom. I've got a collection of music boxes from 1978. There's 5 of them, and I started buying the lamps that match them. And there's one lamp I've been unable to find that about once a week I get on eBay just to see maybe if it's up, and I haven't found it yet. Probably my single favorite piece is about 18 years ago I had a guy custom make an Adam West outfit from the TV show, and it cost me a little bit of money, and that's probably my single favorite piece. The Guinness record I've had for 2 years and 4 months now, and I beat the original record by over 1,000 pieces. And Guinness contacted me, and they were relentless. And at first I wanted no part of it because it would require going through and counting everything. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go through and count everything. I don't have enough time to do that. What had actually happened, a buddy of mine from high school works for a company called Cinefex. They're out in LA somewhere. In September of 2013, they had Batman month. And he went to his boss and said, hey, this guy's got a boatload of Batman. So they put together a little 5-minute clip that they put out on a Friday, and they titled it The World's Largest Collection of Batman, and I never said that. Well, that Monday I started getting emails from Guinness. After about 4 or 5 emails going back and forth, I just relented and took 3 days off of work, made a map of my basement, basically where my collection's housed, and started at a starting point, and with a notepad started writing stuff down and logged that all into a spreadsheet. Then went through and took pictures of sections of the walls and had those printed in 8x10s. And you could literally start at the starting point with my spreadsheet and almost count it from there. And sent them the information. The package was torn open. Someone stole all my pictures. And at that time I told them, I said, I'm done. That's, and it cost, more money, and I went ahead and did it. And Give them credit, they gave me the thing in about 2 weeks. They were pretty quick about it. When I got the Guinness record, the count was 25, I sent them 2,554 things. And in the spreadsheet that I amassed, I highlighted any Superman, Green Lantern, Flash in red so they could count it or not count it, and they didn't. So the record was 2,501 pieces, and that was in October of 2013. And my count today is I'm past 3,200 pieces. An acquaintance of mine works for Pepsi, and back in 2005, they did a Mountain Dew thing where they had a cooler with a Batman on it. And the way DC works is they want all that back when they're done with it. So it's destroyed, so it can't be bought and sold, basically. And his boss graciously gave me one on the condition that it was to stay in my collection, and that was kind of a neat piece. And a couple months ago, I was up at Barnes & Noble, and they had a pretty nice display, cardboard, and put my name on it, and they gave it to me. And then I bought a whole bunch of the merchandise, so I've got like a complete display with unopened merchandise. So that's kind of a special piece. I've got some other items that have the Batman logo on it that are a little odd. For instance, got a shell, a hermit crab shell that's got a Batman logo on it. Well, Adam West is my favorite Batman. There's no doubt about that. Warner Brothers released a Blu-ray box set a year ago with all 3 episodes of the TV show. Well, Warner Brothers was here in May of 2014 with the film crew. They didn't indicate where or what they were doing with what they had filmed, and that was in May. And fast forward to October, I had the pleasure of meeting Adam West for the first time. And as I approached him, Adam's 87, 88 years old, really good shape, got all his wits and everything. And as I walked up to him, he kind of reared his head back, and he goes, "I know you. Where do I know you from?" We never met before. I don't know. Where do you know me from? And he had screened this DVD, and it was included in the box set. And it's a 30-minute piece called Holy Memorabilia Batman, and it's me and Adam West, Ralph Garman, Mark Ray Coop, and another gentleman whose name eludes me. So that was kind of cool. It was kind of full circle almost to be included in the box set, because the TV show is what sparked all my interest in this. And Adam West knew who I was. I had a poster that Burt Ward had signed for me years and years ago, and wanted Adam to sign. We charged us $80 for an autograph, and he leaned into me and he's like, "I'm gonna only charge you $60." I said, "I'll pay you $80, no problem." He goes, "Oh, just $60's fine." I said, "Okay." So that was kind of cool, really. But really, really nice guy. And Burt Ward also, really, really nice guys.
What a cool selection of memorabilia, and seeing it all come together in one place is amazing.
Without a doubt, I'm really jealous of how awesome it all looks.
Don't go away. We have a special musical guest coming up right after the break.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to Connections Live. Songwriting, singing, and playing the guitar have never been a choice for this Texas-born, finger-picking Renaissance man.
Bryce Ernest Taylor's desire to share this through his smooth voice and rhythmic music skills made his entry into the indie folk music scene inevitable. Thank you so much for joining us, Bryce.
It's my pleasure. It's wonderful being here. Yeah, be a part of the show.
So how did you get your start in music?
Well, probably way back in my family, trips out west, singing in the back of a station wagon. We weren't like a traveling music family, but just, you know what I mean. But yeah, that's probably where it started, and then just got my first guitar from my grandparents, and I probably didn't start really playing out until like I was in graduate school or something. So
wow.
That's cool. Long journey. Yeah.
Awesome. Who would you consider some of your biggest musical inspirations?
Probably some of the early ones would be James Taylor, Jim Croce, Simon & Garfunkel, and then some more recent ones like Ray LaMontagne and Jason Mraz, those kind of folks.
Awesome.
All right. And what motivated you to start producing your music?
To actually putting it on a CD, I think just I had collected so many songs, and that you know, it was time to put them together. But it's just I write music and I have to do something with it.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, could you please play us one of your songs today?
Sure.
Thank you. Awesome.
If I could weave a perfect day, I'd weave it with the golden rays of sunshine. Weaving a little happiness, thinking and talking in the grass till the moon shines. Becomes our night light, comes to tuck us in comfortably in our skin. Whoa, you never know all the ways you kept me going. So wise beyond our fears, see from where our stream of tears is flowing. My dream is knowing your tiny hands are growing. We delight in colored light, shining through the fish tank, just right, making rainbows. It's the little things we understand, like telling stories, holding hands makes our love grow. And we both know when life comes tumbling in, oh, it's good to have a friend. Show me the sun, remind me dancing's fun. Show me the sun, remind me dancing's fun. If I could weave a perfect day, I'd weave it with the golden rays of sunshine. Oh, I'd weave in a little happiness, thinking and talking in the grass till the moon shines. Becomes our night light, comes to tuck us in. You've been working so hard to be comfortable in your skin. Whoa, you never know all the ways you kept me going. So wise beyond our fears, see from where our stream of tears is flowing. My dream is knowing your tiny hand, your beautiful mind is growing.
Wow, thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Thanks.
So where can our viewers find your music?
I have a website. It's bricetaylormusic.com. But also I have a CD out, CD Baby, and it's at iTunes, and Spotify, Amazon.com.
Awesome.
Probably do a search and find it.
Okay,
Awesome.
wonderful.
Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
That's all we have for tonight's episode of Connections Live, where we showcase ordinary people
with their extraordinary stories. Bryce, could you play us one more song?
I will in just a moment.
Perfect, thank you.
There's a way you hold my hand when you love me. A way you hold my hand just to show me around. A way you hold my hand when you really understand. There's a way you hold my hand when no one's around. There's a way you hold me down when you really want me. Some may try to hold you down just to keep you down. Sure as this world is spinning round, a better way must be found. 'Cause I can only love you lately when no one's around. Where's the justice for love? Where's the justice for love? Where's the justice for love? For love, for love, for love, for love. Why can't you say that you love me? My heart can break as jagged as their own. Lust is an itch every lonely man can hit, but love's an itch no. Where's the justice in love? Where's the justice?